makers of Boogie Nights. It's now the 1980s, and there's a new star on the rise.
He was not stable.
Clarence Thomas stars as Girth Gavel, a kid who's endowed with a dream.
His goal was to be on the Supreme Court.
Everybody has at least one special gift. Well, Clarence Thomas, actually a real handful.
The lack of intellectual curiosity, the inability to sit down and read something.
Co-starring Lillian McEwen as the woman who knew him best.
Short-tempered, asexual, and obsessed with weird things.
And Anita Hill as the woman who couldn't avoid him at work.
He did continually pressure me to go out with him, continually.
Clarence Thomas is Girth Gavel. From beginning...
He drank to excess when I first met him.
...to the bitter end.
His ambition just became overwhelming.
Don't miss Clarence Thomas in Boogie Nights 2, The Legend of Girth Gavel, and you'll agree.
This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. It is a high-tech lynching.
Well, let me tell you something. I mean, I may be the viewer that watches CNN, but you know I do watch CNN, and I am a proud CNN viewer because there is more news on there. And last night, I did watch the Larry. Why? Larry knocked it out of the park. Last night, Larry King, you know, I was on Joy Behar last week because Ginny Thomas, Clarence Thomas's wife, decided after 20 long years she was going to wake up at 7:30 on a Saturday morning and wish Anita Hill a nice day and ask her, why did you do what you did with my husband 20 years ago? And it just reopened the whole Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas confirmation hearings. When Clarence Thomas was being confirmed for the Supreme Court, it came to be known that he was a sexual harasser of a lot of prowess. He was beyond belief. He was so unbelievably relentless and so inappropriate. At the EEOC, the exact place in the government where sexual harassment claims are policed. And Anita Hill was his assistant and could not go to her boss because he was the head of the EEOC where they police sexual discrimination and harassment. So she did what anybody would do, right? She went to Congress. There were hearings. Clarence Thomas was under oath and so was Anita Hill. And people took sides. It was the O.J. trial of the 80s. And people didn't want to believe her. They wanted to believe that Clarence Thomas was a stand-up guy and that some woman was bringing him down. Turns out he had a girlfriend at the same time that he was harassing Anita Hill. And this girlfriend is a lawyer as well. She was a prosecutor. And she was counsel to the Senate Judiciary Committee. After Ginny made the freaking phone call, Lillian McEwen gave an interview to the Washington Post, which I told you about, I think, last week. Larry King's bookers booked her last night. And man, did this girl open up a messy can of Coke. You know the story. He kept on asking Anita Hill to watch porn with him. He had a favorite movie, one he wanted to show her called Long Dong Silver. He came to her with a can of Coke with a pubic hair on it and went, oh, look, there's a pubic hair on my Coke. Now, right there, he should have not been confirmed because what man uses this kind of judgment and says that will make her want me? What do you... Look, there's a pubic hair on my Coke. Ah, let's go out. Even Elaine Bennis would not date that man, as intrigued as she might be.